welcome and thank you for coming to another webinar. This will be for accountants specifically for setting up taxes. Basically, that's the idea, right? And I have prepared this presentation just to follow the agenda for today and understand what we're going to do due to the fact that it actually requires some analysis, so you can have the video of what we will be doing. You know, taxes is not just the simplest things to do. We might sometimes need to cover and prepare for different countries, different requirements, products, or even changes in normativity in our countries, right? So this is it, how we then work in Business Central. We're going to check today the VAT posting groups, work with the GL in the VAT posting setup. What is this? We're going to verify then how to integrate, you know, that we work with customers, vendors, items, and so forth. That's what we call the posting groups. How do we connect those to a GL account? We have combinations actually that help us to calculate the tax when we purchase an item, when we sell an item locally, or importing from different countries. Well, for that then as well, we have VAT clauses and VAT different rates related to our groupings, right? So that will be the idea. And then how do we see the report? Luckily for us in Business Central, we can prepare an automated tax report. So you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's going to be prepared by Business Central. Okay, so basically, if we follow now our agenda, I would like to first begin with a PowerPoint, then to explain some of the concepts we are about to see. Basically, as an introduction, we have the VAT, of course, as a value-added tax, right? But what I want to focus on first is the table that we have here, where we have two main concepts in this image, where we have the VAT business posting group, okay? Every vendor and customer, or basically these two entities for us, where we will be doing some trading activities in our supply chain, but we need to specify the groupings for taxes for them. It could be local, domestic, however you want to call it, you know, and as well, we might do some activities that do not require some taxes for some, let's so to speak, vendors, or that are not tax liable, you know. So we are gonna then make some differentiations for our customers and vendors. And we have one field that we call the VAT business posting group. So hopefully you get the idea. We're about to see it in a moment in the demo. And the VAT product posting group, which is the same. We need to group our items or products because and services, of course, because at some point, some of them are taxable, some of them are not, and they have as well different rates. Very good. So this is the way we actually work. And then once we just understand this first idea, we're going to be able to set up, according to our local legislation, then how do we calculate the taxes once we specify these groups for customer, vendors, and items in our country or region as well. There's some of you by region, county, state have different taxes as well, correct? So well, this is what we call the posting groups. And then what happened? Then the VAT product posting groups can help you determine the calculation and posting of your taxes or VAT according to the type of item that is being purchased, item or resource as well that you sell, and as well sometimes we, for instance, import from abroad, and then we need to input additional costs like freight services, insurance, and so forth. Maybe if we are in the Caribbean, but in any country, actually we import items, and then we need to add additional item charges, right? So as well, we need to charge and calculate taxes. So then when we set up the products posting groups, this is for our products items. Consider how many groups we need are needed based on the tax liability for items and resources. For example, VAT products posting groups can be set up to group items into food that require 10% and non-food items that require 15%. Okay, so we differentiate as well the type of items that we are going to be managing in our supply chain. So basically, once we get it, we're gonna speak about some of the processes and fields that we are about to configure today for us to see in the posting setup. The first one is the VAT percentage. The VAT calculation type, because we can calculate according different type of references, right? In the USA, in the Caribbean, in Latin America, right? We have different type of calculations. So some of them are just direct, combine in combination with the type of group and type of vendor. Well, local vendor with specific items have different direct rate. But some of you might require as well the additional variables like in this state, in my country, in this county, and then if we purchase in another state, in another county, will be then another rate. Okay, so we have different types of calculation methods, so to speak. EU services for Europe, but in this case we don't have in this very moment. I'm not going to focus on that, only for European countries. VAT clause codes code will be then just to make a reference for our taxes. And unrealized VAT. Unrealized VAT will be the reference that we are about to consider when we are not going to be immediately. We need to specify an interim account when we purchase, and then we are going to settle that interim account that we are going to call unrealized VAT until we sell an item, so to speak, and then until we receive the payment, okay, as well for sales. When we sell an item, we might record that on an interim account until we receive a payment, and then that will be for that uses the unrealized VAT. Okay, and if you ask me, can we then adjust can we make adjustments for payment discounts? And the answer is yes. For sometimes that will be as well a requirement. Okay, for discounts, just to mention it, we have yes invoice discounts by default by your customer number. You can select the customer and apply the same invoice discount that a customer might have, okay? But sometimes it has the actual discount and you need to overwrite that specific percentage, and that is as well possible on the fly, so to speak, with permissions, of course, okay? So on the customer card page, we are going to select the invoice discount action, and the discount as well requires different currencies. Sometimes with your customers, you might have different currencies. Well, the amounts, just so to speak, will apply to the value of the currency. Later, the exchange rate is applied, so we can get the actual value of local currency, okay? But invoice discount will be based on the total of any document invoice. Now, let me explain what we call the calculation type. First of all, most of all, we'll be using the normal VAT, where we are going to be, well, I'm just going to describe the first option of calculation that we have. The engine allows us to calculate different methods for different countries. And the first one will be normal VAT used in Europe, used as well in the Caribbean, in some countries like Jamaica, for instance. So we just to mention it, this is for items that are sold or purchased with the combination of business posting group, or what type of vendor how you group your vendors and customers, let's say national and or to export, right? And only with that information, we're allowed to combine. If we purchase sell locally with the type of item, then we get the actual VAT calculation, okay? That will be the normal VAT, the way we call it. Then reverse charge, as an example, we use the option when you are trading with other countries or regions within the European Union, okay? Because, well, they settle among that region their actual taxes. But in this case, I'm not gonna use that calculation, okay? And then we have the full VAT, full VAT. Okay, full VAT is quite maybe for specific integrations. Let's verify. We use the option when the amount to post with the combination of the VAT business posting group or what type of vendor, customer, domestic or to export. And the VAT product posting group consists completely and only of taxes. Okay, as an example, this is useful, for example, when you record or import VAT or make an entry to correct the VAT calculation error. Okay, so the correct entry is made by using full VAT. Okay, as another reference, full VAT, yes, I use it when I want to create an invoice only with the taxes. Okay, to make adjustments based on a specific customer or vendor, right? Or as well, when I have actually pre-calculated my taxes on a third-party software, sometimes that happens, let's say when we import, according to the sector where we are working, sometimes our taxes are calculated by a third-party instance, right? Maybe the government, right? Or the actual customs. When we have other third-party software calculated for us with a lot of complex rules, information for tax as well, we might then use the full VAT to make as well some input of taxes directly to a customer or of a vendor. And then we have the sales tax, which is our last option, used normally in the US sales, in the US. And then this is not only for the US. For instance, here in Mexico, I'm located in Mexico, we as well use the sales tax. And what it does is just basically that we just are going to calculate tax on tax. Okay, as a reference, in the USA, they calculate in different states, different rates, in different cities, different rates, in different counties, different rates. And when we do trading from different areas, if I purchase from one state has a specific rate, then in comparison, if I purchase locally in my own state, then I have another rate. Okay, that will be mainly the idea. But as well, is not only used for that, but when we need to calculate tax on tax, so to speak, we have different type of taxes according to different criterias. Then we need our national tax, but then we have our county tax, and we need to actually add the tax above the pre-calculated tax. If that's then the case, well, just to mention, I wanted to talk about the calculation types, because this covers then the functionality for different countries. We just need to select the one that is good for us. Okay, so that will be then. I'm going to just jump into our demo now that I have explained some basic ideas. And I'm going to just now open Business Central to then just show the functionality working, right? Okay, very good. Let me just now open the application. One second. Okay. Okay, and as well, this is telling me that I have European vendors. Okay, what I have here is a Kronos company, which is our demo company, by the way. And at any given moment, by the way, if you need, you can ask me any questions, because what I'm about to explain is not difficult, but in the end, I want to avoid confusions, right? We have enough time. I have dedicated for this type of webinars when I have to do some setups in front of you, right? But actually, we do this when we do the actual implementation. We actually prepare with the accountants and with the inventory managers as well, these setups. But now that you're here, let me just explain. I'm going to talk about the VAT statement templates. Okay, so I'm going to start from the report and then come back to the actual setup of how am I doing, and I'm going to open purchase sale so you can see the actual information, right? So I'm going to open the VAT statement for you as a reference, or this is tax, I believe, for this localization. Yes, just to mention, I will be working for today in a American localization as well. Okay, what happened here? What we want to get as accountants is just one single report in the end. All right. I'm going to share now the tax statement that is calculated automatically for us. In the end, I'm going to show you how then we can configure this. But you can see here that I have created my sales, because in the end, what I want to configure is just basically the amounts, okay, that I will be preparing for different type of taxes. So I have the sales for 25%, right, for invoices. Then I have prepared another type of sales tax, which is only 10% as an example, right? So think about your country with the different tax rates that you have. You in the end, what you want to have is a report that tells you, well, the tax statement for your tax authorities. In this case, I'm going to start with the sales because from here, I'm going to receive a column amount currently 0 until I start my trading activities, right? And from here, I will be starting my sales with the different type of taxes, 25, 10%. I have standard or VAT reduced. So just to give you some ideas, right? What do we actually have? And then in the same report, I'm going to then require the purchases, right, regarding to the same items that I have in this case, because I'm going to deduct, okay, to my tax authorities the amounts that I will be then paying, right? What have I done is that I as well have a purchase for 25% that I will be declaring, a purchase VAT for 10%, and for some specific items, purchase VAT reduced. Okay, which is a lower percentage, so to speak. That sometimes happens. Some specific items have a lower rate to pay, and then I'm going to discount to my sales the actual purchase VAT or purchase tax, however you want to call it, okay? And then I'm going to prepare a report like this. That will be then the idea. I forget to mention that as well. Sometimes we are going to be deducting as well the general expenses that we sometimes, in this example, just to give you an idea, energy then is discounted in this demo a country, right? For my company, I have prepared a fuel, electricity, natural gas, coal, CO2, and water. Well, these taxes can be deducted as well. So with this, I'm going to get in the end a total amount that I will be paying to my tax authorities. And the good news is that if you configure now what I'm going to show you today, you're going to actually prepare this and have the automated information. As well, we can help you later. You can call, say, I'm going to need help to prepare. I saw that this could be automated, so I can save some time and so forth. So that's not a problem, right? Now, this is a tax statement. You saw the idea, the general structure of this demo company, and we are going to start now showing the actual configurations that we need to actually input. First of all, I'm going to talk about the VAT product posting groups. The VAT product posting groups then are the different type of products that I will be managing in my country. I'm going to have a code and then a description. Any given item might receive one of the VAT product posting groups to be able to be used in Business Central to calculate purchase and sales. So to speak, some items might be non-taxable. Okay, so I need to add this into my VAT product posting group list to be then used later when I design my items. So, okay, no bad. All of us have some of them. And then normally we're going to use the full normativity, okay? And then as well for services, okay? Full normativity. What I'm saying here is that it will be national, so to speak. And this won't be related. First, this explanation is not actually direct to the US functionality, all right? This is the normal VAT explanation. So I have the national type of or regular or type of tax, or another way you can call it is standard, the standard. Okay, you have the actual general percentage that you use, but then other type of products that for me will be called red. Okay, very important type of items in any given country. That will be then maybe food. Okay, sometimes that will be for us very important to understand well what type of products will be then having what type of percentages. We all know that part, but the idea is that I will be there and adding in my case a full red to then declare that some items only I'll calculate 10%. With no more explanation, then you might be then understanding that we have the full, the deducted, reduced, the zero, the standard. Sometimes for services, in some countries, services are calculated in a specific way. So we need to then integrate how then our local normativity and local authorities consider we need to calculate based on the type of item, the percentages, and we create them because we are going to configure our items. VAT product posting group, this is how we call them, okay? And then if I go to any given item, I'm just going to make an exercise. where I show you how then the taxes for the products is calculated based on this list. Then I will be opening any given item to then show you then as well. But then, well, I have, for instance, milk, almond, American cheese, a lot of food here, right? Well, for me, this could be deducted. This could be the standard, right? For different type of items, then we calculate those, okay? And we are going to, well, when we review the item design, we're going to review all this information, but think about all the items that you currently receive, and then our product configurator should know which type of rate it's related to the milk or to the butter, right? And well, basically I have added this as an example for different type of items, but then as well a coffee or other type of, for instance, salmon, I have added some other seafood here, well, might have another rate. Okay, that would be basically the idea for the VAT product posting group. Then I'm gonna just talk about then the VAT business posting group, which as well we need to configure, okay, because in my case, in this example, it's related to how I'm gonna configure vendors and customers, right? It's very simple, but sometimes we just do domestic or what else, local, however you wanna call them. Okay, local vendors, customers, okay, and in order to trade with them, we need to classify them because they have one specific rate, but when we do export, then we are going to have then other rates when then our same product, the same product might have a different rate if we purchase from domestic or if we purchase and we import the items from other countries. Then as well, we are going to need then that classification. This as well could be delivery in my example, okay? I don't know if that happens to you, but if you do delivery, you might not charge additional taxes. But anyway, for instance, here or in the USA, they calculate not based on this criteria once again. They calculate based on county, state. I'm going to explain you that in a moment, right? But for now, this is for normal, but we combine domestic and export with the type of product that we explained before. Okay, so what do we do then is the setup of a combination of these two variables, basically. So the tax posting setup is where we actually do that in a simple matrix. Let me explain you now. I have the VAT business posting group. This is once again the domestic, delivery, export, or even the EU, European. And then we need to combine, so to speak. I'm going to then filter only on domestic, okay? I want to view only the domestic. The domestic information then will be then only showed to, then combine with the different type of items that I have. For instance, VAT product posting group for a reduced, standard, zero items and so forth, then will be then use this combination, and every given item, either if it's reduced, standard, or zero, might receive a different rate. So reduced receive 10%, standard receives 25%, and zero receive, well, just a rate of 0. Okay, so that's not a problem. By the way, I will be sometimes combining VAT codes in the POS for terminals or stores, but in this moment, I'm not going to use this for my webinar. Okay, but what I want to do is, you remember what type of calculations we have? Okay, what do you calculate here? Is this normal VAT? Normal VAT is a combination of these two simple variables, which is I'm explaining. All of this you can see is normal VAT, the first type of scenario that we are about to see. Okay, and then we get the account or combination because, for instance, for my domestic sales or purchase, we reduce type of items. Okay, or domestic purchase and sales in combination with standard items, like in this example, then they are going to get one specific GL account for sales and for purchases. Okay, that will be the main idea. That's how easy we combine all of them. I just wanted to show you my report, and as well this specific matrix where I have just combined. My calculation will be normal tax, and this is the account where I will be posting the sales VAT. 10% only. And then I have other ones for purchases, 25. So I have basically dedicated, let me just show you my GL that you could use, right? Where I have in one single section that I just call VAT, or you could call it tax, whatever. And then I have added all my information or GL accounts related to the tax calculations. First of all, I have the sales with the different rates. Then I have the purchases accounts related, all of them to tax. I'm not going to then posting here the actual base amount. Let me explain you this about, okay, first of all, let's just check the structure before I go to the actual calculation. Why are we going to receive in these accounts? The VAT will be then calculated to sales, purchases, accommodation tax that I have used for some specific scenarios. And then when I purchase fuel, well, I would need to configure an item that is called fuel that is going to be purchased, I don't know, locally, right? And then when I sell or purchase the item, then it's going to then use the fuel tax account, electricity, natural gas, and so forth, okay? So this structure then will be really handy for me because in the end, I'm gonna get the total, okay? The total then will be then used for me to have a review that well, these type of amounts are calculated. I know that they are calculated automatically for me. And I just wanted to mention, when I purchase, okay, the base amount will be the price or the cost price of the item I purchasing. The same happened to the sales. Plus the tax rate amount calculated as well, and we'll be receiving one specific amount for VAT, okay? That then is the actual VAT amount that will be posted into these GL accounts, okay? Not the base amount, which will be traveling either to income or to cost when we purchase on or sale, okay? That will be then separated and the VAT will be posted using these accounts. This will be simple as that. No complexity at all. And then I just wanted to mention here, we as well uses the tax clause codes, excuse me, to actually, well, verify for any given entry, the accountant can see in the account or in the reports, or if you want to even then later export to prepare your own reports required by your local authorities, then you can see, well, in the actual line, this is reduced 0 or whatever. So you can then go and directly understand with the text, with a code, when you post your transaction, you see all the lines in per GL, or if you export information to a report, you can add your own clause codes to then understand what type of a calculation was done, because in the end, you are going to see only amounts. So remember that when you prepare your tax reports. And in the main core of the information as well, I would like to, as a reference to add the tax clause code. That could be sometimes useful. Okay, so the idea then is that in the end, I will be then working with this matrix that you would need to then prepare for your country for normal VAT, for, once again, domestic, export at least, all right? And in my case, another example will be delivery. That in this very moment, in combination of the type of item that you work, we do a matrix with the full combination of my VAT business posting group in combination with all the type of items that I have. And then I'm going to get, in combination of all of these variables in a matrix, the actual rate to be used, and the business central rate that will be used to then generate the specific amounts. And here I need that sales tax and purchase tax accounts, okay, to be able then to work properly. And that will be it. It's not difficult. Actually, just this is, remember, the normal VAT, because in a moment I'm going to open the sales tax, okay? And for me, what I want to do now is just let me, while I open my calculations window. Okay, very good. What happens next? As an example, I want to now, so to speak, purchase an item. I'm going to open a purchase order for the first time, so you can see how then calculations are being done, right? In this very moment, this will be the purchase order, okay? Very good. I'm going to create a new purchase order. Let me explain this document. So you can see the taxes calculated. The purchase order document that now that is here requires just the input of any given vendor from the list of vendors that we have. Okay, the purchaser just selects any of them. Okay, these are my vendors basically, and then I'm just going to input one of the vendors. Then the information will be inputted in the first part of the purchase order document. In the header is then Fabricam with the actual information recalled from the vendor card. Okay, that will be it. And then I need in the second section to start adding items, correct? So let's say that I would add milk. Very good. The idea here is that a Business Central is going to just, by the way, add all the tax information for me. Let's just verify whenever I just create a purchase order, I'm going to start inputting items, the warehouse, the quantity negotiated, and I'm going to get one specific direct unit cost, okay, per item. So in the end, if I just purchase, for instance, 100, Business Central is calculating to me for me $90 that I will be paying. Okay, then in the end as well, what I would need to verify is what type of look at this. I have total a total tax that will be 10%. Okay, why 10% of 90? That's why I selected like an easy amount so we can see it directly. And here I have a field that is called VAT Product Posting Group. Okay, from here it was already defaulted because we behind the scene configured that in our matrix, but this item is reduced type of item only receives 10%. And I just input that this item is not actually really present on our purchasing processes. I just, as an administrator, included it. So you can see why is it calculating that, right? So it's reduced. You can see that my description is 10%, and here you can see the final calculation, correct? And that will be exactly the same for all the actual items that I just input. But if I just take a look at the actual vendor that I have, I want to understand if it's domestic or what happened with this vendor, right? Because in the end, remember that we are combining. So the vendor posting group, no, this is for taxes. Where is it? Invoicing. Well, apparently this will be foreign vendor, but I'm looking for the tax posting group. Let me see if I can find it because I don't see here. Don't see it here. 1 second, please. And this will be for taxes or VAT. Okay, I don't see it, but I have a way to actually just see the actual information of how the vendors are actually just configured. By the way, just to mention as a bonus, we have a method to import, export information, right? In this case, for instance, I'm gonna check my vendors. Let's just see. And with the rapid start, what we can do is just import, export information, which I'm about to do to review my vendors in a very easy way. You're going to see it. And this is how we actually implement. So we can have this tool just to mention it because I wanted to check this information. Let me see. And this is telling me that to the vendor, I also have city and postcode related. It's not a problem, but I have currently, look at this, the number of vendors that I have in this database. And luckily for me, I can export it and import it, right? So even when we do an implementation, just for you to know, to know, once again, the rapid start process helped me to review the information to then, and if we ask, okay, give me your vendor information as an instance, then what I will be doing is just giving you this actual template. So let's just check the information, because what I want to see is how actually the taxes are calculated here. And then while my Excel is being opening, then I'm going to show you that now the actual information behind the scene for my vendors, right? So very good. Is you can see then that I have the name and search name and the address and so forth. Okay. Now I have a specific field that I'm looking for, which is the VAT information for this. Here is the VAT business posting group. This is the actual field that we are explaining today. Okay, the VAT business posting group is actually referring to what type of vendors I'm using. So my first vendor actually that is called Fabricam is an export type of vendor, okay, for exporting activities, or it's for Eigner as well. We could actually use them, and it will be my first vendor, Fabricam. And the other ones I see that they are actually just domestic, right, and one in the European countries. Okay, so those are the setups that we actually just do. You can see then that that's as well used to calculate items. Okay, we need to configure them behind the scene, but as well, I'm showing now how everything is as well seen in the actual purchasing procedure. So I have here, then once again, my VAT business product posting group in combination with the foreign type of vendor or to export, then we get the reduced type of product, in this case, in the line, all right, a section, we have the reduced VAT field. Then if I want to see my statistics as well, your documents, all of them, all of the invoices, right, for purchases and sales. So that's why I'm showing this, okay? And so you can get to know in Business Central how the information is generated. For this purchase, once again, I'm just going to be paying this amount, but the tax was calculated just here, okay? Now, I'm going to start inputting more and more items. It doesn't matter, it's not a problem. Each item has its own rate, and then according to the number of tax of lines that you add to the purchase, you're going to get a secondary tax line for any given purchase that you do that is going to tell you, okay, the tax rate is 10% for the line amount or base amount 90. Tax base is 90. This is the cost that our purchaser is negotiating to purchase the item plus the tax amount that we are calculated, amount including VAT 99. With this single line, well, we're gonna get this calculated. Yes, if you have questions, please let me know. It's not a problem. And as well, now that you see that how is then this is used and how then is being applied, as well for all of us who are accountants, as well, every document has a preview posting, okay? A preview posting that we just handle before even posting the actual document. That will be basically the preview. Let me just add an invoice number. And then we're going to preview the GL account, basically. So for any given transaction, sales, purchase, or even some journals that we do, then while everything is being generated, the preview window is going to be showing me the actual GL accounts, the amounts, and so forth. What do we see? I have 3 GL entries, well, it's related to the accounts payable. I don't know if this is increasing my inventory, okay, and so forth. Here's the purchase VAT at 10% account, okay? It's basically the account that was configured 5631 when that combination of vendor and type of item is being used, okay? So we are gonna get our first entry of $9. And as well, because we are purchasing to from to a type of export or foreign type of vendor in combination with one type of VAT product, which is reduced, okay? But these are just GL entries. If you want to verify, every document has a subledger for taxes, where once again, you are going to see then why, and this is going to my tax reports from now on, okay? If not, this information, tax entries, that's the way we call it, is linked to the GL entry that we have. We know the GL account that we are about to use, but this tax entry preview is actually going to be as well taken from this operation and then used to and posted into my tax entries table from where I take the actual report that I showed you in the beginning. So that will be it. I have an entry for an export activity, well, a business posting group, then with the product posting group reduced for the type of item. This was an invoice, this was a purchase, this was the base amount, this then is the tax amount calculated. So then your report will be is going to be updated using once again the normal tax. So you can see then that this is not that complicated in the end, but we want every document, every purchase, every sale to update all my activities, including my tax report, and that is happening in this very transaction. Well, we have all the, or just to mention, okay, but can I see the def to the vendor? Yes, it is here. So you can see more detailed information about what you're going to generate to AP. This is the invoice number 3 related to a purchase order. So I'm going to be then paying that information, including once again the whole amount, including taxes, because that's the amount that you're going to be paid, and other related information, the due date, the discounts, or blah, blah, blah. Okay. Other entries related to the update of the warehousing activities, not really important for now, and that will be it. Okay. So we have all the information and not the value for now. Okay. So this is it for every transaction. Once again, we input our lines. We get our statistics information, so you can see how many lines are going to be generated here, okay? And then, okay, only one tax line will be generated, the total purchase, and so forth. And once that I show you the preview information, then we know the GL accounts, then we know the base and the tax calculated amount. Why is it for foreign and reduced type of item? Okay, that will be then the whole information that I actually require for a simple transaction. Very good. Okay, and then the same will be happening. Let me see where my tax statement report, because I don't know if that entry that I did actually is going to be shown in my report. For domestic, no. Actually, I see in the report that all the entries are related to the domestic activities. Okay. I might need to update later as well, because I posted my transaction with foreign vendors. Do you remember that? Okay. Unluckily, I actually purchased to one single vendor, the only vendor that is not domestic in this database. Okay. It's not a problem, but well, sometimes so this type of things happen. But anyway, let's do the sales very fast. It's just actually the same. Now that you understand the basic concept, if not, please let me know. Okay, and I'm just going to create a new sales order. Same concept, we're going to generate one operation with one of our customers in this scenario, where we have then a header. I'm going to, well, this is now the opposite. I'm going to select from the list, then just one single of, let me now verify if I have a domestic customer as well. Okay, you can check them. Here's the list of customers, and let me see if that incorporation is domestic or foreign, or what is it? Okay, domestic. Okay, fine. Okay, the customer card is where we actually have all the information from our customer. This one is domestic, it's not a problem, right? And then we have that incorporation information. The picture, not oftenly used, to be honest, but anyway, the address and all of that. Okay, contact emails and so forth. Okay, now same scenario. What I want to do now is just verify in my actual information. I need to start configuring this, and either you can do it on the item card, or I'm going to do it now and in tandem using my packages, using Rapid Start. Okay, so in this case, oh, no, not package offers. Okay, the way we actually ask you the information is, please, for all your customers, give us the actual information. I'm going to give you now a template related to the customer information, where I'm going to include one single field, customers, table number 18. I'm going to export this information now. Okay, where I'm going to just add the field to then, yes, as well, I have information related to the customer table for city and postcode. Okay, and I'm going to export now my customers, because I'm going to ask you if you remember, we have once again what we call the business posting group. Okay, the business posting group then is related if to verify and understand if my bad business posting group is related to the information enable editing, if you remember, right? Look at how then very fast I'm preparing information for my customers. I'm going to ask you if we do an implementation or an update, or you can actually use exactly do what I'm doing now. Export your customer information with all the fields, all right? Now, what I want to look for is one field that we are learning today is just the bad business posting group. Okay, so I'm just going to go directly to the to that one. Okay, and I can see that all my vendors except for one is for exporting activities and another is for European region. All of them, all the others are domestic. Okay, so if we configure that, I want you to help me with this information, with the general, and if this field is not completed, then well, taxes won't be calculated. Then what I will be doing is coming back to my sales order. I'm going to use a domestic customer, and that I have seen is that incorporation, no problem. And then I'm going to then include it in the sales order header. I'm negotiating now this customer. Well, so once again, just to repeat, I have a sales order. This document has a header. The Adatum Corporation customer is here, and I have all the general information, right? After that, I just want to include the same item, maybe why not milk one, just to avoid confusion and just see the same values, but in the opposite side. I'm just going to sell now 10 units, where then the unit price will be used instead of the cost. It's not 9, it's now 10. So we are generating 10% of profit. But once again, if I purchase 100 units, then you guess now the quantity. Okay, why is this happening? Once again, you already know the item, you already know that I have a matrix that is helping me with the actual calculations. But if not, actually, because I'm not going to include in the line the actual VAT fields. So because normally the actual user doesn't actually requires to, we don't include them for him to see them normally. Okay, what they do is just verifies in the statistic part, just verify how many taxes lines are being generated with this single sale. Very easy. I don't want to input 1,000 items, just to cover this. I have one amount. I'm negotiating with this customer. I'm going to sell you this item for this amount. Okay, but the actual tax is, well, here is a rate calculated automatically. And once again, if this document is going to generate then for my report and for all the entries in the GL account, in my tax authority report, and for only this combination of a customer item, I'm going to receive, well, the base. Okay, this is the actual negotiated plus the taxes that were and the amount including tax 110. After I have just done that, what I'm just going to do is just verify and finalize my actual sales order to ship it and invoice it. Okay, I want to, once we do that, this is going, this requires shipment. Okay, it's not okay. Okay, what is this going to do? A sales is going to update all the information, like what happened in my purchase. So you get it. We get the GL account, we get the tax transactions and so forth. So it's not difficult to verify that, but this asks me something about my shipment numbering. Sorry, just to mention, this is just a single setup that I just need to complete. Shipment 00000. Okay, by the way, If you see this, you can now prepare your own numbers for your documents. This is exactly what I'm doing. Business Central told me about, hey, give me one shipment number. How do you want it? Because I'm going to prepare a new shipment document. You asked me to prepare a shipment. What will be the number for my documents for the shipments that you would like me to use? This is a SH0000, okay? Just as an example. But you can identify your own numbers for all the documents, like even for the staff, the tasks that we do, timesheets. Look, bad periods, very important, okay? Vendor numbers, why not, okay? And that's the type of information that we just normally use, okay? And this is how then within Business Central, we just basically configure the numbers for our documents. Or even if you ask me, can I prepare a sales order for a local sales orders with to have one single number, and foreign sales orders to have another number? The answer is yes, we can configure that. Okay, so that will be the idea. Okay, so you can see that taxes in the end is not very difficult. Okay, so just once again, one last setup in order to pause this is the actual invoice. Oh, this one is the one that asked me. Okay, so basically this is the part for normal taxes. Okay, I need to explain as well the part for sales tax. Okay, that will be quite different. This is calculated tax on tax. Okay, in a moment I'm going to explain that. And as well, we generate the same information, right? But the actual calculation and the structure for those taxes is completely different, so to speak. The process is the same, but the taxes calculation changes. Okay, basically that will be the main idea. Okay, I have just generated meanwhile this invoice. Okay, once again, if I just verify if I check the entries, I have the invoice that you as an accountant can look for that information, find your entries. Okay, once again, I have this tax entry, which is now, I'm going to focus normally, well, now on this only. I have one domestic sales operation with the type of item reduced done on this posting date. This is as well the posting date, very important because we are going to be paying normally on a monthly basis to our local authority. So all the transactions in April will be then justified for my actual report. For an invoice, for a sales operation, then the base amount. Okay, negative, you know, now if you're an accountant, then we post in our P&L the sales in negative, with negative sign, okay, but it's not a problem. This is just completely standard, don't worry. And the amounts, okay, so the base amount is the negotiated part plus the taxes. You can then include, even configure Business Central to sell your prices, including or excluding taxes. Is not a problem, okay? And you know what, once again, the normal tax, okay? That is then the actual entry I will be then receiving, right, for this type of sales operation, okay? And while I'm here, I want to ask if you have further doubts, because what I want to do as well is going into an American database to show the sales tax function, right? It's as well very easy, but I need to explain that if you are in a country where you need to calculate actually tax on tax, not only the direct tax once you get the domestic or foreign with combined with any given product, right? Now this is more advanced because we are going to add not only the combination of the previous fields, but adding by state, by county, and other type of considerations. For like in the USA, they do so, but in Mexico, we are as well, North America, we use this functionality, right? And some of you in some other countries as well need to see how it's being calculated. So it's up to you. How do you want to actually, if you want to stay, I don't know, I haven't seen, well, many of you in our previous webinars. So once again, oh yeah, see, okay. Yeah, no, plenty of you people have been in previous webinars. Okay, Omar, what's your question? Can you tell me meanwhile? By the way, this is now real time, so if you have questions, this will be a recorder for future ideas, right? We're going to share this information out among our customers, right? And this part of the webinar, since you are free to ask, I can go in depth or repeat exercises. That's something that sometimes happen. I do a lot of demos actually for customers for a lot of functions. Now, okay, no, let me change just my view. And when I just actually do that, or even in our webinars, I just receive just different requirements to explain further specific activities. Luckily for us, actually, taxes, when we see them working this way with the exercise and how do I set it up and the report, everything is easy, right? It's not that difficult at all, by the way. Okay, but now, guys, I need to change to another functionality. I don't want to confuse you with my previous explanation. I really want to be quite clear, right? This is like part one, part two in the same webinar, you know, because taxes are completely different to one country to another, from one country to another. And in this case, I'm going to move to another entity, which is the same company, but now this is the matrix or another branch of the same company that is located in the USA, right? Just to show independently of the country, I wanted to show then how then we calculate the same in this region, because it changes, by the way. So now, how then we work whenever we do the state, the county, and so forth? Well, let me explain. In Business Central, we use as well the same engine that, if you recall, then we call the tax posting setup. You remember, let me just go once again. Okay, in the VAT posting setup, we need to include if it's national or foreign in combination with the actual type of group, which is raw material, finished type of product, or in the previous exercise, because this is for manufacturing, where we just work with raw material or finished products, okay? But in the food industry is reduced, is with 25, 15, or different percentages. Now, the way we work here is that the tax posting setup is now just going to include one single line that is called sales tax. Previously, we worked with the normal tax, and I'm going to work with sales tax, okay? Only that. Sales tax, nothing else needs to be added. Now, this has the following setups that I need to complete for this type of agreement with our local tax authorities that we have in this conference, where we need to calculate tax on tax, okay? That will be just the main idea. It's not complicated neither. But now let me just go and jump into the actual setups. Tax jurisdictions. They are then just the main entity from where I will be, the geographical area, very important, from where I will be working. Tax jurisdictions are related to mainly the actual different geographical areas where we are going to be making a tax calculation. Some of them might be the state, in this case, the state of Florida. Let's just focus on this basic area because I have others in the north of Chile, like Chicago in the northern USA, or all other ideas. Puerto Rico even, you know. So that's it. But the idea is just to get the concept. One for a state, I know that we calculate a rate for the state tax, okay? That's it. I need to then create a tax jurisdiction. Then, in the same state of Florida, I might have as well different cities and different counties. And guess what? Even though we calculate a rate as a rate in Florida, as well, we are going to be calculating one different rate in Miami, which is a big city. And inside Miami, we, believe it or not, yes, this happens, and this is actual normal type of calculations. In Miami as well, by subdivision, district, county, this is how the way we call it in the USA, well, we just get another type of rate. Combined with these three, we are going to get, for some items, right, one calculation, 2%. In this case, look at this. Default sales and use tax. This is my rate, by the way. So state of Florida, plus the date, plus CT. If I do in this actual county some trading, I'm going to get that rate. That will be the main idea, okay? But now as well, it's up to you how you want to combine them, all right? And as well, what else? I have here, Atlanta is another state. So Atlanta has one rate or could have a rate. Then I have the city of Atlanta, right? Very good. Then I'm going to apply plus 1%. But then it depends if I do purchase or trading activities with the county of Fulton or the county of Gwinnett, how I'm going to get another rate, or even Martha. Okay, that's another district. If I do trading activities with Martha, I'm going to get 1% only. If I do trading activities with GA Fulton, I'm going to get a 3% of a rate. Okay. Now, the tax jurisdiction as well is just the idea of every single area in my geographical or legal entity, my country basically, is going to get one single code, okay, like this in this example. That's why I'm showing this. This is quite easy to understand. And as well, then the tax account. Once again, it's just exactly the same. We are going to get one segment for sales because we are going to do our sales minus the purchases related to tax to get in the end get the amount that I need to pay to my tax authorities, basically. Okay, but then once again, we add one code for one single region, and then we are gonna link the rate and the GL account directly to the now so-called tax jurisdiction. Okay, it's not complicated actually, but now this is only one part of the actual configuration. Okay, what happened next is that I'm just going to create what we call the tax areas that in the end is going to be used. The tax areas I need to, so to speak, to create one, to locate my vendor. Okay, I talk about Atlanta or Georgia and Miami today. Okay, so let's verify. Now you need to, when I do trading with my vendors, I need to ask them, where are you located? Okay, because I need to update that on my system. And that happens often in the USA. Okay, and so you can imagine how many setups we could be doing here, okay, especially for online type of sales where they will be selling anywhere. Okay, so that's funny, but we can do some Business Central. That's why Business Central do the both type of tax calculations. Okay, let's go then. Miami, Florida. One of my vendors or customers told me, hey, I'm located in Florida. This company is actually located in this state, Miami, Florida, or that's what I believe. Let me show you, because this is important now for your understanding. Okay, my company info. You can check your company information by just looking at the actual company information card, and I'm located in Atlanta. Sorry, I thought that this was located in Florida. Now, since this is located here, if I do then trading with another state in this type of scenario, okay, think about this. I'm going to ask my vendor or my customer, where are you located? Because I'm going to create now the setup for you to be able to calculate the tax. Now that I have all the different jurisdictions, remember, where I'm actually doing trading activities. Actually, I'm working in the south of the USA, Florida, Atlanta, and I saw only one single state in the north, in Chicago. Maybe I have my another branch. Basically, that will be it. But this then is used for Miami, Florida. One of my vendors or customer told me, I'm located in the state of Florida. I'm in Miami, okay, and I'm in the Dade County, Florida, okay, Dade County, okay, and this is then used to then set this up. Another example would be let's say another. I saw one for Atlanta. One of my customer asked me, no, I want to do some trading with you, right, in Atlanta, Georgia as well, but number 2, so to speak, Atlanta demo. And I saw that I have one tax jurisdiction for the state of Georgia. Very good. I need to include that. In which city are you located? Okay, I'm in a city. Very good. Okay, but where, in which county? Okay, I saw that we have two counties, Fulton or Gwinnett. Okay, okay, I'm located at Marta, sorry, Marta district. Where are you located? Okay, in Fulton. Fine. Okay, you get the idea. This is the way we are going to be adding tax on tax on tax on tax. And with the Business Central, this will be the tax area then configured for our customers or vendors, okay? And the grouping for items, I'm going to show you that in a moment, is exactly the same as we reviewed before. Some of your items are non-taxable, some for raw materials, for finished product, for imported, for food. Well, your products are going to get different type of rates all the time, everywhere. Now, the only thing that we change here is that we are calculating not just one single tax that go directly in combination if it's a domestic or foreign customer. This is adding this variable of adding in which specific localization, geographically speaking, you are located. And even we could say, okay, what do we calculate first? Because if we do the math, then it's important to say, okay, the state calculates first, then the city calculates, and in the end, we add the rate for Fulton, so that will be just in the end. And if I do it all the way around, it's going to then, it could be, and it's going to then, so to speak, changing, right? Changing then how the actual tax will be calculated in the end. Just for all of us that we are here now learning about taxing functionality, I'm finishing almost my presentation, right? We as well could connect to external software because in the end, yes, the answer is yes, some of you calculate based on third-party softwares, because this is sometimes mandatory in some specific countries, or for importing, exporting activities, or for specific type of sectors that are related to engineering or different from the regular supermarket or regular activities you might require, and we can connect it. Okay, we can connect because even though we have this information, the rate is as well dynamic. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, so that will be the idea. We need to calculate tax on tax, and that's why I'm explaining the tax area. So we have the tax jurisdictions that we saw before. Input all the tax jurisdictions where you do activities, and then in the end, within those activities, your vendors and customers might be located in different districts, counties, and cities, and so forth, and you need to just update that. Now that we have that, I'm just going to show you that for my vendors, if I just take a look at one of my vendors in this region, okay, now this is located in Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, okay? This is one of the vendors that I have here in this demo environment, and the idea is that we are not going to use that anymore, this general business posting or the posting groups, remember that? I'm not going to use that anymore. What I'm going to use with this actual functionality is just only these two. Is this going to be tax liable or no? The answer is currently yes, but you can as well change it. And the tax area code, like we just did before, is this located in the Atlanta region number 1 or the number 2 for the county that I just added here? There are different counties. We need to add one single code for this vendor where he's just located. And voila, we don't need to do anything else. Then Business Central is going to calculate these complex type of variations for the taxes, all right, and the items. Just to mention as well, very easy to see as well our items, since they are completely different. I'm gonna need to then specify which type of item I'm using. In the end, let's say Atlanta or any given, this is for furniture, by the way. This company is not food, okay? But what I want to show you is that now our items as well, they don't use the regular VAT posting group that we specified before. Now we use only what we call the tax group code. Okay, so we need to study now the names, okay, but they are not in the end different. We just need to classify, like in this example, our type of items. Some of them are taxable, some of them are non-taxable, taxable raw materials or labor, or right, you get it? Classify your items basically, but in this function, we just need to combine where your vendor or customer is located and what type of item you are using, and exactly the same is just going to happen, right? But just to clarify, even though it looks easier, this is quite more detailed, okay? And let me show you the actual details. So you can see then the actual configuration. Now we're going to get a full preview. We'll have a full table of all the counties. You can then now imagine in combination with all the type of items. Let's just take a look. The tax details in the end are going to be the information that you can get. So if you do trading with, so to speak, Fulton is a county located in Georgia, you're going to get 2%, okay? For one single period or from one effective date to the and in the future, right? Then, if we do in the same state, but we do with another county with trading, then trading businesses, okay, we're gonna get then as well 2%. But in another ones, if we combine in Georgia, if we purchase or sell in Georgia furniture, we're gonna get 3%. Okay, for labor, 0%, for materials, 2%. Okay, so it depends. If you ask me how do we calculate the rates? Well, it depends. If you are located only in Georgia, if you are in the city of Atlanta, but if you are located in these two specific counties, then we might be able to calculate different rates, okay? And then as well, if for all of us to know here, we might calculate based on this idea, the maximum amount as well that is going to be allowed, okay? As well that sometimes happen, all right? And we are going to be able to add it. And as well, I forgot to mention that just to finish, we are finishing now our review, okay? You can, of course, check the ledger entries. This one doesn't has entries. Let me see, maybe for Florida. Okay, and from here, the idea is that, yeah, it has entries. Now, you're gonna get as an accountant all your reports automatically by reviewing the entries, okay? Now, I have all the invoices that posted with the base amount, and this is, well, not the actual layout that you might require, but I just wanted to show you that from now on, you're gonna get all your detailed information if you use this functionality like tax on tax, okay, that we are just calculating. For this invoice, we get the base amount, which is in the end, what is the price for this sale. Look at this, and then the tax calculated amount. And then if we are calculating the unrealized base amount for unrealized VAT or tax, then as well we just do so, because in the end we are using the sales tax. Remember, for unrealized VAT, we are just using the interim accounts, and when we receive the actual payment, we are going to be having the base and the actual amount. Unrealized is only while we haven't yet received the payment. We use the unrealized GL accounts. Okay, so you get that idea. And then very important, once again, now our entries do not have the normal VAT calculation type. They are now sales tax related to jurisdictions. Basically, that will be right. But I just wanted to show you this because now we get all the entries for you to prepare your report, or if you want us, and if you have this configuration, but any of your tax authorities ask you for one specific report, we can just, now that we have this information, we just very easily, we can now just get the actual statement or report that you pay on a monthly basis. And one very good thing is that as well, in Business Central,
so to speak, we are going to be able to calculate if you tell us to use that. A Business Central prepares in comparison to the sales to the purchases. You get a statement report, the final amount that you need to pay to your local authorities, and we have as well functions to prepare an automated check for those local authorities, right? In this example, that is going to be preparing everything automatically for you, the report and the payment for your local authorities with an actual check. I don't have now enough time. We are finishing now to show all of that information, but as well, we just have it. And all the transactions, independently of the type of normal or sales tax that we use, okay, will be in Business Central for you to take it and immediately just get your automated report as well with any given detail desired. Like in this example, even though I have thousands of different countings in my tax detail, well, all of them reviews the entries and give me the historical information for all my states. Well, a lot of them I don't have time to explain and see all the different rates. But well, this is the sales tax functionality combination of tax area jurisdiction with a type of item, and this is the sales and use tax part. Okay, so that will be it for today. Thank you very much for your time. This was interesting to see that we have all these functions. And if you need more information or you have questions, please let me know. We as well can verify other requirements and just check our following webinars for like in the introduction that we are going to be presenting, so you can continue learning. And just to finish, you can contact me in my email, so I actually do my webinars receiving some requests from our friends, customers. You can send me an email to noe.wellman@optimus.guru, and I will be attending any query if you want more information or specific topics for our future webinars. Thank you very much for your time, and see you next week.